hello everyone. What's
Good,
going on, Marcelo? What's going on, Eric?
good
Good
evening. Good
evening.
evening.
Everything. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Today, uh, we pretty much was going to have a general conversation about like pretty much since we've been on this earth, we all know what right looks like, and we all know what wrong looks like. And lately, we've seen so much wrong to where we're starting to question what right looks like.
Right.
Today, we're just going to discuss about some of the key things that are going on throughout our country, our community, and just to kind of like have an open discussion about it. So, what in the world is going on today with right and wrong? Marcella, let's what's right and what's wrong? What's going on?
Mario, Eric, we don't even know what's right, what's wrong. Wrong is so right now to where you have to question right. It's like, you see things and then sometimes you have to be like, am I being punked? But it's like now I think that even though I feel like things are not really going to change, we're in a time now where, again, until the end of the world, I feel like it's just gonna get worse. But we're constantly speaking out about it more now, and things that don't involve us, we just move on out the way. But I think that when it comes to wrong, it's like to me, I feel like you more punished, you more judged whenever you point out what's wrong to the things that's right. So it's like like sometimes I have to ask myself, am I an alien in this world? Because it's like I try to do right 90%, 95% of the time. But it's like, what does right look like? And so, I say my piece and I just keep it moving. But wrong, it's so much wrong going on in the world now that that's normal. No, people are normalizing that. So we really don't even know what right is because wrong has taken over. So, just have a voice, speak out when you see something wrong, and try to make a change from there.
Right, Eric?
The lines the society has flipped the script. The lines have been reversed. The roles have been reversed. Right is wrong and wrong is right. And just with that statement, it sounds crazy, but that's what's going on now. It was here Hewlett said it best. We're in a society now where you are punished for doing the right thing, and it goes against everything you was brought up and say do the right thing and you will be rewarded. But to be punished for doing the right thing, that says a lot about where we are now.
Right.
So yes, like my wife alluded to, sometimes things happen and you sit there and you do ask yourself, am I the alien? Am I crazy? I mean, what's going on? And it's just simple things like a good friend of mine went to go get a car. Excellent credit, like 800 credit score. They told him the best they can do is 9%. Am I being punked? Isn't the whole point to have good credit and you be rewarded? And you tell me the best you can do is 9% with an 800 credit score? You would think that they will want him or give him the vehicle because I sold this dude this great credit score car, and it's like but then you roll back to it with a $3 trillion debt. Do is our credit good? The government credit good? Absolutely not. So why are we being held like right is wrong is right? Why are we being held to a standard that they're not following?
Well, my thing is like what you just said, Eric. Though you got to keep in mind all the rules. There's no more rules anymore. But go
No,
ahead.
Right. Right. Out the window.
it's just gone. Just like it's like now the news feed just popped up with China canceling the contract with Boeing. That's major. That's major, and you gotta understand that you have to hold, regardless of what you think or what you say, you have to hold people accountable for the wrong thing when they do the wrong thing, and you have to praise them for doing the right thing. Because if you see your people on your left and right being punched in the face for reporting something, doing the right thing, it tends to make you want to go over here in this corner and not say nothing, because at the end of the day, what it boils down to is you got to feed your family. And you feed your family if you're fired. But it's like, me personally, I don't care. I stand on business. If it's wrong, I'm going to say something to you. I'm going to let you know how you feel is how you feel. But everybody's not like that. And it's like, again, like my wife said, and Marcella said, some of these things sometimes it make you feel like you're an alien. Like, what? Am I being...
And also, too, when you have leaders that running the country that don't care, like me and Mario was talking earlier, and I said that I always say in the podcast that you have to care. But when they don't care,
That's what you get.
they feel like rules don't apply to them. It's normal. And it's like it's just so much chaos now, because it's like every day we see something totally different. We hear something different. We see something different. And we know that it's wrong. But like Mario said, there's no rules. Like, it's like the country's just been ran. It's just like, go do what you want to do. Walk out the door, jump in your car, get on 87 and drive as fast as you want to go. You know what I'm saying? Because it seems like it's just
Hoodlum in charge.
Right. There's no more rules and stuff.
And my thing is that when you can't hold people accountable for
Right.
anything, it's like anyone. That means you can do anything you want.
Right.
And that's one of the things about in leadership. If I can get away with doing stuff and not be held accountable for it, then we're going to have people to keep doing that. I mean, I'm looking at the local leadership here. Is, I look at the Salvation Army situation that happened today. For the Salvation Army to just up and close at the last minute today, that speaks volumes about the leadership we have in our community. I mean, we all know, for those who are work, like I said, boots on the ground, working with the homeless, we all know the bad stories about the Salvation Army. We all know about all those crazy things that have been going on with Salvation Army. We saw it coming. I mean, it's just like everything that's happened with the Salvation Army, it was predictable. Anyone who's been working working with the homeless population saw this coming with the Salvation Army. So for them just to up and pop and say, hey, we're closing, didn't give this. Again, I'm going to say this, but I'm not 100% sure that you don't give the leadership, or you're not giving the people who are out here taking care of the people a heads up. That lets us know you don't care about the people.
Right.
Because you already knew, if you're saying you're not going to do it for funding, okay, you didn't just open up your account and say, oops, we only got $1 account. You saw it coming a mile ago. You saw it. So it's like, so when someone tells me, as a community, we find out within the last minute that, hey, the Salvation Army is closing, that speaks volumes of who the Salvation Army is. It speaks volumes of who our leadership is in our city or in our communities, because there's no way the way things happen with the Salvation Army should have happened that way. It should never happen that way. But again, it goes along with everything else that's going on in our country. It's just a reflection of what's going on. These individuals are in these positions where they have power to a degree. They're abusing that power. Salvation Army, you're going to up and you're just going to shut down because you're saying you don't have funding. But let's go take a look at the salary of how much these people are making,
right,
in the Salvation Army.
Right.
So you're saying you don't have money, but you're making so much money to where you can live comfortable. And I think that's the issue. So when I hear these nonprofits or these organizations that are supposed to be doing great things for our community, and they say, we don't have any money, but guess what? My paycheck hit my account last week. Well, okay. If your paycheck, if you found at the last minute you weren't getting a paycheck, how would you respond to that situation? How would you feel?
Right.
It's gonna be boots on the ground kicking.
So that's why I say, to me, it's like everything, and that's what I say that nowadays everybody don't care no more. They're just out here line dancing, popping those fans, because we are living in a society that doesn't care about right and wrong. They don't care. And if you don't stand up for yourself, they will run right over you.
Mm-hmm.
And we keep seeing it, like what y'all just tell me about this. And I apologize. I know I've been, for those that didn't know, I lost my father-in-law, so it's like my mind has been occupied on, for my family, taking care of my family. So I have been disconnected with a lot of stuff going on. But if you look at what your story that y'all was talking about with the young man that defended himself with a pocket knife and wound up killing the other young man, and what y'all was saying is like, until someone had to show them that this person was the aggressor, he was the one, and the thing is, race played a role in it, from what I'm hearing, to where they immediately put the black child or the black young man into a bad category, but he wasn't the one with the bad record.
Right.
That's right.
Right. Exactly. And then again, and like you said, Mario and Eric, it's no consequences. Like you said, let's go back to the Salvation Army. And even over the past years, I've heard a lot of people speak on the fact that they don't even give, like when they be out there, they don't give anymore, because they said that the Red Cross, I'm sorry, not the Red Cross, I'm sorry, the Salvation Army has a bad name now because of the fact that they're not for the people. It's all about a payday. You know what I'm saying? They're going to do just enough to make it seem as if though they're doing something. And so for them to just close like that today, that says a lot about the whole Salvation Army. And they don't care that they put people in a place where, they got to go figure it out.
They check their paycheck clear. So
like you said, Mario, it's like you said, it's like, ain't no way there's no funding. Like, where did it go? You know what I'm saying? Like, where did it go?
And my thing is, and this one, I would just look at the stats. The average salary for a CEO in North Carolina is $74,000 a year. So and the thing is, you got to look at how many CEOs are there, how many people, and then the average salary of the employees is anywhere between 46. Let's see here. Let me go back and look at it. It's from 47,000 to 89,000 working at the Salvation Army. It says the top earners in North Carolina can make up to 119,000 per year.
That's crazy.
Wow, doing what?
But again, here we go. They don't have any funding.
Mm-hmm.
So my question then is, if they don't have any funding, so where does all this money go at when people are out here ringing the bell? All these donations are going into the Salvation Army. All this money that they're making at their Salvation store, where's all this money going to pay for? Like, let's say, okay, once again, here it is. You have all these things, and then the thing is that the way it's done is, how you can't tell me you care about people, and then you just automatically just threw people. Now, don't get me wrong, they did go through the works to re-coordinate and put people in different places. But again, it's like, it's the way you do it. It's the way you present it. It is wrong. It's just like the confusion about if people are gonna get meals today, which we found out, yes, they still serving meals, but these are things that if the rest of the team knew, and when I say team, I'm talking about the rest of us who are doing stuff in the community knew or aware of this, we could have been better prepared for this.
Yes.
We could have had plans in place. We could have, there's so many things. Of course, there's like, everybody's short on funding, but there's a way we could have handled this a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I say it goes back to when we have leaders, individuals that are supposed to be in charge of things, not being held accountable for the bad decisions that they make or the bad things that they say or go about doing things, then it's going to continue to keep happening. It's like, you look at like this case, like the case about y'all talking about this young man. How many cases have we had where at the end we found out that when, in this case, the black race is like where the black person was innocent and the white person was the one that was guilty of the crime.
Right.
How many times have we had this happen throughout history? So like right now, what we're dealing with in our society is we're dealing with no one wants to be held accountable.
There it is.
No one can be held accountable because that's just our society. We can just do and come and speak. So if you have the money and you're in a position of power, you can get away with anything you want to.
Yeah. Long as, and that's what I was going to say, that's my whole point, accountability. Nobody's being held accountable because they feel like the ones who lack accountability, they feel as though, well, at least I made it right, regardless of what happened during the process. I made it right, so you can't say nothing. And then,
it's just like what y'all said about like you're like what y'all was saying about the situation is that people had to do all kinds of stuff to get the attention for them to do the right thing.
mm-hmm.
I mean, we look at what we have to do now. It's like we're allowing leaders to go out here and do bad things, and then we're having to play catch up with the legal side of things to convince them to go back and redo it or to correct what they did wrong.
Oh, I forgot to tell you this too, Mario. Big corporations they put up the money for him to get a lawyer, right? Not only that, they said that he was defending himself when he killed 2 people and injured 1. So and then, like you said, people started doing the GoFundMe and they made them take it down.
Somehow they shut it down.
They shut it down and was trying to take the funds from them trying to get this young man out of jail. And like I said, he never been in trouble. And then, like you said, you took a gun to school in a state where you had to be 18 years old to carry a gun. But he was 17 years old, and They said he always brought a gun to school.
The bottom line is this ain't something that happened and it took a while for the investigation to conclude. It was right there when it happened, self-defense. All the evidence was there. Everybody did their part.
Trying to tell them they saw
Everybody did their part.
Right.
They said, hey, this is what's been going on. This is what's been happening. Yet you said yourself, you looking for a murder conviction, but you can't. You couldn't. You kept them in there regardless. You had them for no reason. And then when it hit the fan, finally, a little bit of accountability get up in there. And you let them go, and then that's that. It's like it's to the point now where it's cool to pay people off lawsuit. If that's the cool thing, go ahead and pay him some money. Okay, well, we're gonna give Mario $3 million, but he's gonna have to sign this non-disclosure agreement. You can't talk about it. I'm gonna give you $3 million, but you can't talk about it. This case is over with. It's done. We're gonna give you this non-disclosure. You gotta sign this NDA. And it's like it's sad, but that's where we've gone now. It's okay to misplace a person's cranium. So instead of them being able to get back to work, they can't no more. When it's your policy to make sure anything taken from a person is logged and verified and made sure it's theirs, and then you're gonna look at them and say, "Oh well." And now that they want to, so then you admit that you're guilty by trying to settle out of court, but they said you want to take it to trial. And now all of a sudden you want to answer your phone and you want to talk. This man cannot work anymore. He cannot because of your negligence. And it's cool. It's just one example of many where they'd rather just let you sue, we'll pay you the money, sign the NDA, go about your business. It's like, it's what you're supposed to do. No, let's not get sued. How about that?
It's like I don't like the policies at schools where you can't defend yourself because if a child defending themselves, they've been bullied, they defended themselves, they all of a sudden now want to fight back. Now they're gonna suspend both children. You know what I'm saying, Mario? But we've been talking about the bully for weeks and months and last year, but all of a sudden now this child is being bullied by the bully that y'all know is the bully. He decides to fight back, so now he's going to be punished as well because he can't even defend himself no more. So, like you said, right and wrong, it's like we have to walk out the door every day and decide on like which way do I go. You know what I'm saying? What you know, you have to decide on if I'm going to the left or I'm going to the right because you just don't know.
See, and that's a problem within itself. That goes back to what I said when they took this training out, and that's what it is, a lack of training because. They figure if I don't annotate it, it didn't happen. No, all you're doing is making yourself more guilty because if you got all those people saying that this boy has been bullying this boy for so long, where's the documentation at? So if them people have seen it, that means he said something. More than likely, he said something. So what have you done with the information? See, annotating it helps you. Not annotating it makes you guilty in the court of law when it comes to lawsuits.
But again, it goes back. But again, it goes back to we're dealing with a lazy society.
Yes. Yes.
That's the biggest issue now is that no one takes pride in what they do. I mean, don't get me wrong. When I say that, I'm not talking about everybody. There's some, and that some has an impact on what goes on.
Right.
So if you have people that don't want to do the right thing, always want to take shortcuts,
Right.
it's like they're not getting paid what they're worth. So their attitude goes along with that same concept. If you're not paying me what I'm worth, then I'm only going to do what I think that you deserve.
Mhm.
And so our whole society has changed. And like people say, well, if we focus on our community, I know during my meeting today at lunch, they say if we focus on our community, we can have an impact on the community. That's true. But if you have where you're going through with right now, everybody's going through PTSD because of what's going on in our government. So when you have PTSD of what's going on in our government, it's going to affect everything down to the lowest level, because now mentally people are fed up, tired, don't care, don't want to get involved. So then those that do care, those who want to get involved, we're fighting a harder battle because now we've gone to a society that, we wanted to do what was best for our community, to a society that, oh, well, you know what, it doesn't matter. We're going to do this anyway. Because just, again, it's like, you can't tell me Salvation Army cares about people and did what they did today. You can't tell me that. I don't care what nobody says. It's like, and the thing is, we know this because if everyone goes back and look at how people were treated at the Salvation Army for the last 2 years, all the things, everything that took place for the last 2 years, and like I even saw someone write a comment, it might be a good thing that they shut down. It might be a good thing that they're going away because maybe the leadership in our city, our community, will go and get the right proper resources that we've been yelling and screaming that we needed for the last 20 plus months. And that's what I said. To me, it's like we can take $3 million and spend it on OCS, but we couldn't take $500,000 to get a proper shelter, a standby temporary shelter to help people in our community. If our leadership is good, okay with that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Our leadership is okay with that. It's like they're okay where, yeah, we're going to take $3 million and put it into an alternative for the federal police department versus take half. And when I say this is if anyone go back and look, Greensboro took $50,000 and invested into small shelters, 30 shelter units to help their people. If we could have done something similar, I mean, we had funding twice, 2 times. There's been funding available for help our community when it comes to shelter, and we didn't do it. One was, okay, we had $6 million put aside. Okay, if we would have took $1 million, that is 60 units. So it's like they can't say that, well, there's no excuse for what happened today. None.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, Mario, you said that if they didn't see their paychecks going into their account, then all of a sudden you're going to hear it's going to be voices heard. You know what I'm saying? Long as a lot of things don't affect people that's in position, leadership position, stuff like that, it doesn't matter to them. So long as I'm still getting paid, it ain't my problem that the Salvation Army is going to close down, even though we know that it is, because y'all run this organization to where y'all are for the people, y'all supposed to help people. Let them not get paid. Let they paycheck skip over. You know what I'm saying? Skip a beat. Then you're gonna hear they probably gonna be all on the news and the newspaper and everything like that.
Yeah,
so when a lot of times, like I said, it's a couple of things. You have to care. And when things don't affect you until you're affected by them, then you're just gonna like wake up and it's just gonna be another day.
And I'm gonna be honest, it's sad. It's really sad that it's come down to this because my kids, when they were growing up, every time I saw someone out there shaking that bell with that little red bucket, I would go over and I would donate. And the reason why I would donate is because they helped us out a lot when we were homeless. They did a lot to help my family out. So Salvation Army has been like a big hero of mine through what we went through. So for me to turn around and see what the Salvation Army did today is like it's sad in so many different ways. It's frustrating, it's sad, and it's disappointing because all this time the Salvation Army has always been there to help those in need, and then today they pulled the rug from up under our community and left us high and dry. Now, did they take care of the people that were there? Yes, but it's like you kind of like it could have been done differently.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question, Mario. So were they open and then people was coming there and they closed, or how? Like, did it just like yesterday Wednesday was the last day, or today they just all of a sudden just said we dropping the ball today?
Well, from my understanding, they notified the city yesterday evening after 5 o'clock yesterday evening.
Of
They
course.
got a heads up
Oh my.
that they were closed. So, well, okay, everybody's gone home. You gave them no time, no
Right.
time to respond, nothing.
On purpose.
So here it is. You have the COC scrambling to get things done. You have the city of Fayetteville scrambling to get things done,
Care about
and so
questions.
it puts a burden on everybody that has anything to do to help in our community.
Right.
And by them doing that, it's just like, to me, I will never look at the Salvation Army. Like, my thing is this: any element of your organization represents who you are.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so with Salvation Army here to do what they did today, yet you're going to send out a letter to the media saying, "Oh, it's because of funding." Okay, I'm sorry. You saw this coming out. You saw this like 2-3 months ago.
Okay.
When they were shut down and not taking any more people. Okay, so here it is. You're repairing the Salvation Army from the storm, and you shut it down. You're not going to take any more people. Y'all knew then that there's a possibility y'all were going to shut down. You knew then, but you didn't do anything to get anyone prepared. And if they told somebody and they were in a leadership position and they didn't do anything to prepare for this, it's like all of a sudden now we have funding to put people in motels. Now we have funding to come up with a plan to help the homeless and ship them off to different locations for them to have shelter. But when we were struggling through the winter months, where was this plan at? So to me, it's like I've gotten to the point now where they only want to do right when they choose to do right.
Yes.
They only want to do right when it benefits them.
Right.
This whole situation, and it's like, again, it goes back against the whole community of Fayetteville. Is there's numerous opportunities from the 2 years that I've been working with the community directly. There's been too many opportunities for us to have a solution to this problem, and we just let it play out to where we're scrambling, jumping through hoops to find places for these people to live.
And it's because of a lack of oversight. Just like you got a director of a nonprofit that should be an overseer for the nonprofits. And when something like this happened, hey, what do you mean you don't have no money? You got $8 million. Well, let me do an audit and see where all this money went. There's nobody overseeing. They're just doing what they want to do. It's a leaderless thing. It's chaos.
There's no accountability.
Yeah, it should have never happened. It should have never happened. But it did. So what are you going to do now? Just leave it closed? What are you doing now, Mr. City? Want your job and want to do this, want to do that? It's sad that this is what happens. Like you said, now all of a sudden there's money and there's help. But you didn't want to go outside in the wintertime? So if you had the money now, you had the money then. Why you don't want to do it during the winter? Well, we could have really helped people. Why now? Why now?
And then also, like you said, they waited till after hours.
Mm-hmm.
Like that phone call, the same thought process, the same word, the same communication that you had after 5 o'clock. You could have had all that at noon.
There's a possibility.
1 o'clock. You see what I'm saying?
There's a possibility.
So, and knowing that after 5 o'clock, there's nothing really can be done because everybody go home, they ready to go home, be with their families or do whatever they have to do after the work hours and stuff. So that was a red flag right there too. Like, why would you wait whenever you could have did that early? The same thing that you knew at 5 o'clock that day after the fact, you knew earlier.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, and again, it could have been handled to a standpoint to where they could have given proper notification.
Right.
Like, let's say, even if it was a 1 week prior, that gave us enough time to get prepared and ready. The fact that they jumped through and they made some phone calls and they were able to get people into different places at different locations, that's all fine and dandy. But again, it's one of those things to where all you're doing is you're showing the true hand that you don't really care.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what boohoo story or what political method or thing they want to say. You can't tell me that it's just out of clear blue. Y'all found out that y'all had no more funding.
You had no idea. Come on,
Right.
Like okay, you had in other words, you had $1 million in your account on Friday, and then on Monday you find out that you only have $1.
Mm.
And I'm gonna use an analogy with us, you and Kathy and Eric keep it home. Like, I'm the one that goes out and I buy the groceries, right? Okay, so if I'm feeding the homeless and I know every today is Tuesday, every Tuesday I make sandwiches for them, I'm gonna know that how much lunch meat I have, how much cheese I got. You know what I'm saying? I can't go ahead and start making the sandwiches and then, oh my God, babe, there's no more cheese. There's no more lunch meat. They come to pick up the sandwiches. You know what I'm saying? If like you said, an oversight. If you take inventory, you know when something is out. You know whenever now it's time to figure out. Okay, well, what am I gonna do? Like, because there's a little bit left, so I need to go. You know that. So therefore, the people that's in charge and they making all this money and stuff like that, they knew. They knew. It's like, again, right now it does not affect me. It has not affected me. I really don't care, but I'm gonna make like I care. Because I'm in a position to where we supposed to care because we the Salvation Army. You know what I'm saying? So there has to be, like you said, an oversight. There has to be inventory. There has to be an audit. There has to be anything. Ain't no way that you just, it's just a sad situation to where, like you said, we in a world now where people don't care anymore. There's no rules. They're gonna do what they want to do. Who's gonna stop us? Whatever. You can just keep on and on with the words and stuff like that. It's just sad.
But we've said back. My thing is, as a community, though, for all of us that are working, we all have heard horror stories. I mean, I still got emails. I still got pictures. I got so much stuff of all the bad things and how they were treating people. A lot of people didn't even want to go into the Salvation Army because they said it felt like a prison. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of one of those things to where, guess what? We have no. And see, this is the problem we have when it comes to taking care of our homeless and our people that are struggling to get back on their feet. They have to accept whatever they decide to give, like whatever's given to them. Right. They don't have a choice in the matter. Like, we're not providing them with top-notch services. Is whatever straps we can throw off the table to give to you, you're going to accept it and you're going to be done with it.
Of course.
That is the problem. And that even though I know, and like, people will come in and they have all these meetings and we're serious about taking care of people. You're not serious.
No.
And I keep saying it is that if we can provide funding to do all kinds of other crazy things in this world in different countries and different places, and you're telling me we can't even take care of what's in our backyard? Right. There's nothing, there's no excuse, there's nothing you can tell me to justify that. I don't care how political you want to say it. I don't care how many fancy words you say. There's nothing you can tell me that justifies how our people get treated in our community that fall on hard times.
And then just like the attitude, guys, with people in places that have to serve. Like yesterday, I went over to Q House and took balloons and stuff in a card. And so I went to the Dollar Tree to get some balloons to get well, but they was out of helium. So I ran to the pop shop, the one that's right in front, and so they had them. So you can buy the packs of balloons, Mario, that 30 in them, and they'll blow up however many you want. All you're doing is paying for the dollar pack of balloons. So the lady was like, I went up there to the counter. She was like, we don't book those anymore. But the way she said it to me, like, I said, so when did y'all stop blowing them up? Because y'all used to. Well, we've been stopped that. I said, but y'all used to blow them up, right? She was like, yeah. So she said she said you have to get those on the side, which was 50 cents a piece, which I didn't have a problem with paying 50 cents a piece for a balloon. But it's just the fact that, like you said, when you walk into certain businesses and stores, their tone and their attitude makes you like, it's like you either at their mercy, or either you just gonna go ahead and get the stuff and just take the attitude and walk out. But it's like, people, you're right. Like, people just get tired of that too, because when you don't want to serve the people no more, and they need your service, you still feel like I can give you an attitude because you need me and I don't need you, which is that's not true. We both need each other. You know what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying. Like they
But,
go to the Salvation Army, they don't even want to go there based on their.
but the piece is the missing piece in that equation is the people that you choose to represent you. The
Mm.
people you put behind that cash register, the
Yes.
people that you have that represent you, the people that you put in this position. And the thing is, we all know, for most of us, and again, I've never really dealt with the coordinator that was here at the Salvation Army,
Right.
but I've heard horror stories of some of the things that he has done, how he's treated people, and how he's acted towards people. Salvation Army, we all know, was the primary shelter for Fayetteville location. We should have, and again, I'm gonna say the community should have been more focused on getting another shelter in place
Mhm.
to where we no longer had to tolerate the type of things that were going on in the Salvation Army. But because these are the poor people, these are the people living in poverty, these are people that are having hard times, well, they're going to accept any table strap we throw at them. And that was the type of attitude that we
Yeah.
have with some of the leadership in our communities is we never looked out for all the issues with the mold and stuff that was going on in that facility. We never took time out to listen to some of the stories of how people. I get it. Some people they act out and the people will tolerate. I've actually been there 3 times where bad things have popped off at the Salvation Army.
Well, they didn't have to live in the mold though. That's why another reason too. They didn't have to breathe that stuff in you know what I'm saying? They didn't have to live in the mold. So it's like, hey, it ain't my problem. You know.
Right, but see that's that's my point is that the Salvation Army has not really been a productive. It's been like you either gonna suck it up and deal with it or go find somewhere else. And that's the attitude
Mhm.
that they have presented to people, or I should say, and that's where we had no choice because we look, they have provide up to 75 people, 75 beds, 75 cots. We got no choice but to let them act out or do the crazy stuff that they do because we don't have a alternative.
And that's how you fix it. That's how you fix it. You have an alternative. And see, instead of trying to suck money, this is where the lack of oversight. Instead of I want you to use what you got. There. Correct me if I'm wrong. There are hotels that are no longer open, right? Why don't you use those and take even less money to take $50,000 to $100,000, fix those up, make those into units to help. Take what you got, take what's in your own backyard. But due to a lack of oversight and people that don't care, you don't use the building are sitting there, block boarded in, and nobody can come in there. What are you going to use the building for?
But see, my thing is, Eric, you got in order, and this is the problem I see. You got to have people that care.
Yes,
That is the biggest. That's the biggest missing portion of the equation.
Right.
Is I ask the question, why do you do what you do? Why do you do the things for our community? I look at the ones that are getting paid to do the stuff
versus the ones that volunteer.
versus the ones that volunteer.
Right.
and the volunteers get more work done than them
Well, they
paid
get the
people
salary.
ever do.
And so when I say grant is the new crack, grant money is the new crack, that's pretty much what it is.
Right.
And so you have these organizations that go out and they get this grant money, and you see, oh yeah, they got the nice building, they got the nice staff, the staff is getting salary, all these great things, but how much work are they really doing for the people in need and help? What is really being done? How much funding is really being put forth to help out people? And those are the question marks that we have to see. But guess what? There's nothing in place to hold them accountable.
That's right.
Right.
There's nothing in place to account for how they're conducting their business. They can go in and halfway do it and still get credit for it.
Yep.
They can do the bare minimum
Right.
and still get credit for it for them to qualify or to meet the needs of that grant money.
Right. And that's why a lot of times, Mario, even like my daughter working at the post office, that's why people, by the way she works, they would be mad at her for coming in there working hard because they think that she's trying to outwork them or making them look bad because of the fact that they don't do their job. So when you have people that comes together for wrong, that's what nobody's gonna hold nobody's accountable. They're not. It's like if we all sit in a circle, we passing around the same bottle. We alcoholics. I can't call you an alcoholic because we all doing the same stuff.
Right. But
So,
see, but then you take an organization like you take organizations that do it and get it done with no grant money, and I'm amazed that they're doing way more for our community than the ones that are getting grant money.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, because they have an excuse to get over. See, the people that are doing it out of their own pocket is I'm making it happen. You're gonna make it happen because
they care.
because they care. The purpose is to help the people. To help the people. So that's what you do. See, Mr. Grant money. See, first of all, you make too much money. That's the biggest problem. But that lack of oversight is the lack of oversight is what's killing everything. Nobody is holding them accountable for what they're doing. Nobody. If you get money, just like I said, money goes through your hand, you should be able to save money. If you get a grant, if that G word grant, whatever you want to call it, is coming to your office or your NGO or your nonprofit, there should be somebody that's doing an audit or an overseer to ensure that. So when this happens, we better make sure this money goes where it needs to go. Because Mario gonna be here, he's gonna audit us. We don't want that to happen. There's no audits. There's no oversight. Nobody they get to close down and do whatever they do, and who's gonna say something? Nobody. They're just gonna sit there and hide in the shadow till that money come out. Just like Roach, when the lights come on, boom, they're gonna be scrambling to go get that grant money again and do the same thing again.
They don't even hide no more.
Somebody should be seeing this. Right. Look at the money that you've gotten over the last few years as to what you've done and say, wait a minute, you've gotten $24 million over 3 years, and yet you haven't done anything.
But when they all think alike and they all benefit the same way, and when they don't care, and when they're not being affected by it, and there's nobody that's over them, it's like a never-ending cycle. You know what I'm saying?
But it goes back to the number game. As long as we meet our numbers, it doesn't matter how they get treated. And that's just it. Is that when you're dealing with numbers, you're not seeing how people are treated. You're not seeing if they're getting fair treatment. You're not seeing if they're getting proper customer service. You're not even seeing that what the help that they was recommended or gave recommendations to, even if they went through and they followed through with it. So it all depends, and that's why I say in today's society, without accountability, there is no true caring for people. And I think that's where we lie at today. Is like when it's wrong, and when it's right, is right. And in today, that's all we're trying to get through to people is there's too many more wrongs than there are rights.
Right.
And here's another thing: if all you worried about is numbers can be lied. You can lie about numbers. You can lie
about numbers all day long, and that's why I said I left it at that because numbers. And I could change a number by a click of a button.
Yes. You got AI.
I could put down I helped 20 people, but okay, what 20 people why are we still having the same numbers that are homeless? If you help 20 people, why are we still having 400 that's still in the streets?
Thank you.
So that's where it all boils down to is results can be seen for those who are paying attention.
Yep.
If you're paying attention, you can see the true results.
Mm-hmm.
But again, today's episode. I'm saying story, but today's episode was about laying out what's right and what's wrong.
Right.
And in today's society, we have more wrongs than we do rights. And it doesn't matter. Like Salvation Army, it proves you. It right there off the back. One of the biggest organizations that's supposed to do good for our communities, for people who are going through hard times. And look at the stunt that they pulled today.
Right.
This happened in our backyard. This is our community. And it's like, and they just pulled out like, oh, we just found out. We went from $1 million to $1 within one night, and we're just gonna pull out.
Right.
That's just like them doing that is the equivalent of you doing a wedding for us, and we done already did the contract, and you got a list of songs, and you setting up, and we give you the list of the songs that you got.
No, I'll be honest. It's even worse than that. It's like I write you a check for $1,000 and then do a stop payment within 5 minutes of it given to you.
Yeah.
right.
I mean,
Like
that's
you
pretty
not,
much what it is.
right. That's true.
Mhm.
Right. Oh my
But
goodness.
last words, we're gonna go through real quick. So, last words on this, Marcella. What's your last words?
My last words is just to continue to pay attention, keep your eyes open. If you can help in the community, whether it's right or wrong, just do your part.
Eric.
my last words are 3 words: stand on business. Right is right, and wrong is wrong. There is no difference. There is no line. Either it's right or it's wrong. Do what's right. You will be rewarded in the end. Do what's right, regardless of how people tend to want to treat you, if they alienate you, whatever. You will feel better about yourself by doing what's right.
To me, I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know what rabbit hole I done fell in at the beginning of this year, but it just seemed like, and I'm so disgusted with what's going on in our community. We went from working together as a team to take care of people that need our help to where now we're just completely falling apart, left by right, by left, and it's like, what happened? I just hope and pray that after Salvation Army, look, if there's anybody else got to pull the rug up on us, can you please do it now?
Yeah, so we all
Please do it now. So if you're going to pull your resources, you're going to pull away from the people that we're trying to help in our community, do it now so we get it all out the way so we know who's here to help people and who's not.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, right and wrong is wrong to provide false hope.
That's right.
It's wrong to get people excited and then you pull a stunt like this.
Yeah.
It gotten to the point now where if you're not here to help the people, you're not here to do what you say you're going to do, go ahead, pull the rug now. Trip us up now so we can get all this trip up and all these non-caring people out the way so we can move forward.
That's right. Absolutely.
But today, again, this was awesome. I know this was kind of like a short show because we just started a little bit late. But again, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Come back to us next week.
Right.
And hopefully we're standing on the same rug. Hopefully nobody don't pull the rug from up under us. So again, thank y'all for joining us and we'll see y'all next time.
Have a
Good
good
night.
evening.